like a lot of teams, they can't handle losing key players to injury. The top teams, we keep saying it, would you? The Chelseas, the Cities, the Liverpools have got a great strength and depth, and it makes a big difference. Clearly, they're not playing as well as they did last season. That goes without saying. That's obvious. You can see that. However, if they're missing Bamford, Phillips, big players, they just can't handle it. And that's one of the reasons I think they're having a struggle. And things are against them. Bamford comes back, gets himself fit, gets a equaliser, and then gets injured again, celebrating. It's just one of these things. I think they'll be fine. I do think they'll be absolutely fine. But I think one of the main reasons for them not being anything like the team they were last year is injuries to key players. I think it's relatively simple.
Bamford, Cooper, Phillips, Rodrigo, Koch as well. All not in. Shall we speak to former Manchester City Leeds defender Danny Mills?
Absolutely, and Danny will give us a better view on it.
Absolutely, because he was there last night for talkSPORT. He joins us now. Good morning, Danny.
Good morning, Danny.
Morning, Woodsy. Morning, Ali.
Morning.
That was a sore one, Danny, last night. I couldn't see it coming, I've got to be honest. I fancied City, but there's no way I could see it. When you look at the performance from Leeds at Chelsea, where I thought they were a little bit unlucky. Well, not a little bit. They were very unlucky not to get anything.
We were talking beforehand, Ali, and said, when you look at it on paper, City should probably win this sort of 4-1.
Yeah.
But you can always see Leeds causing an upset and maybe nicking it at the other end. 2-1 with an entertaining game. But I have to say, that is one of the best performances I've seen from City.
Yeah.
In and out of possession, they were superb. Rodri was absolutely immense. And what they did tactically, Pep got it spot on. He went man for man all over the pitch and said, right, fine. And he said, you know what? We're better than you. And if you want to go man for man against us, I back myself. And that's exactly what he did. And once one player broke the lines, and Rodri kept doing it, running off the back of Tyler Roberts in midfield. Once he broke that line, it was causing absolute havoc. Because then, it's then like Ali, and people have to come out, leave their other man, and there was gaps everywhere. It could have been double figures quite easily.
What did he do, Danny, team-wise? Because I'm looking at the names. I'm looking at. I've only saw the highlights. To be honest with you, did he play a 4? Did he play Stones right back?
He did. We weren't quite sure who was going to play where. We think, does he change? He always plays a back 4.
Yeah.
But will he go to a 3? Will he go to a 4? But fair, John Stones had very, very little to do all game. They even gave him 2 efforts at his goal, didn't they?
Yeah.
They let him have a shot and then went, you missed that one, go and have another one. Some of the defending was really poor from Leeds at times. That's not good enough. But if you're going to play that way, you've got to be so disciplined for 90 minutes. You cannot leave any player there. And time again, because of the ability of Manchester City, they were going past players, and then that's it. Once one player gets beaten too easily, the system falls down, and it was just City was so clever. Llorente was going really, really deep with Foden a lot of the time, leaving a huge hole in the centre of defence. But because the Man City players back themselves one-on-one, under pressure, even 2-on-1 under pressure, they find half a yard and they play that ball into space. Someone runs off the back of somebody else and they're in. And it just kept happening time and time again.
Danny, what about Leeds? I'm looking at it and I'm thinking to myself, they're sitting 16th, and I keep saying, they'll be fine, they'll be all right, they'll be this, that, and the next thing. When do we really start worrying about Leeds?
There's a little bit of concern. They've got Arsenal and Liverpool up next. That's certainly not going to be easy. I think there are 3 worse teams in the division, which may well sort of save them this year. I'm starting to look at it now and think it's the bottom 6 that are going to be in trouble. I think Everton, once they get a few players back, will be fine to get out of it. Palace look like they're going to be okay, and the rest have sort of, are over halfway, already. We're still sort of 3 games to play before halfway in the season. So I think it's going to be between the bottom 6. They do need players back, but Bamford's out again. He, not just the goals that he adds, but the way that Leeds play adds so much to them. Calvin Phillips out until I would say at least February. Could be even longer. And he's been the glue that holds everything together up to this point. So I just think when you talk about what's gone wrong with Leeds, and people will blame Bielsa, but that's what he does. That's how he plays. People loved it when it was going well.
Yeah.
I think recruitment has been a little bit, not poor, but they've got some really good, what I call senior players, or players heading towards their 30s and in their 30s that have been fantastic for the club in the last sort of 3-4 seasons. They've got some incredible teenagers coming through. they don't have a lot in the middle. They haven't really sort of recruited 24, 25-year-olds that can just drop in. And I think that's a big problem for them.
Danny, I wanted to ask your thoughts. We spoke about Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang being stripped of the captaincy earlier on. What did you make of that situation?
I totally agree with it. If you're late, you're late. Simple as that. You know, I used to drive an hour and a half to get to Manchester City. Did that 5 years. You know, even when I was injured, was never late. And if there was traffic or if there was an accident, then I was late. Fine. You probably get away with that once. You know, if there's a huge twice, no. And this is not the first time Aubameyang's been late. I haven't heard anybody come out and say, okay, and people say, well, yeah, but his sick mother. That's fine. He was given special dispensation to go and pick up his sick mother. Did he call Arteta that night and say, look, I'm really sorry, but something's happened. It's more complicated than I thought. I'm going to have to stay over and I won't be back tonight. I'm going to have to come back tomorrow morning. Clearly not, is the answer. And I think, you know, Arteta's got to the point where he's given him chance after chance. And when I was listening to his interview last night, he sounded hurt, I think, Mikel Arteta. He'd given him that little bit of licence to say, OK, I'm going to try and help you out. And you've taken the proverbial a little bit. So I completely understand it. You know, you can't have players like that. Because if you start to just dig out the young kids and dig out the young players for doing that, then that's not good either.
Yeah. Okay, Danny, thanks for coming on.
Have a good day, Danny.
I'm off for a ketchup sandwich.
Oh, yes,
good
Danny
on you,
Mills,
mate.
come on.
And do you know what? Look, I might even put it on toast.
Oh, come on.
Do you want? Here's a tip: put the bread in the microwave for 15 seconds before you put the ketchup in, and then it goes all soft and gooey, and then you add the ketchup, and it's like a little ketchup hot cross, like a little ketchup sausage sandwich thingy, but no sausage.
Stop it, the two of you.
Sorry.
Just like a pizza, are they?
It is just without the cheese. It's just the
Danny,
same thing.